Pool, who has a history of minimizing racism and hatred toward Black and brown Americans, was recently taken to task on his own show. Hip hop artist R.A. the Rugged Man pushed back against Pool, who is apparently 75% white and 25% Asian, because he claimed to be a victim of discrimination in this country, a victim of racism in this country. Now, the interview had incredibly fascinating elements to it. It was later taken down by Tim Pool, and we'll get to an explanation of that in just a second. But first, here's a little snippet of how the conversation went down.
If we go up to the truck stop up the block, nobody's looking at you like, get that guy. You know,
I didn't say they were.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if you put somebody else in there, they're looking at you funny. You're good, you're good. You go to the airport, they're not pulling you over because they
No, that's bull.
They pull you over?
Yes.
Because you look like what? Because you
yes,
look like
mother.
What? You look like
I get randomly flagged every time I go to the airport. See, you're.
Because what reason?
So if I know.
Because you look like what?
If I know, dude.
You really heard
Yeah, because I get every single time I go, and you are a racist dude who says I couldn't possibly understand every time I go to the airport. I'm randomly screened.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the
every time. Every I go to the UK, they put 4 S's.
What are you screaming for?
I'm screaming because
what? Because you're hurt that you're a white boy?
I'm hurt because you're a racist.
Yeah.
Now, things nearly came to blows as Tim Pool continued claiming that R.A. the Rugged Man is the racist in this conversation, and then postured as a real fighter for the disenfranchised. Let's watch.
Interviews with people on the ground to talk about what they've been through, and you have the nerve to come up to me and tell me my experiences don't matter when I'm fighting the fight.
Stop screaming, bitch. Stop screaming, first of all. Talk to me like because I'm not that guy.
Yeah, you are. You are. You actually are, dude. Yeah. You are that guy.
I'm not that guy to scream at, bitch. You want to get
all right.
Screaming at, bitch.
Let's calm down.
You gotta cut it, man.
You think you can?
I'm not that guy. You don't disrespect me, bitch.
What did you do to me? Did you disrespect me?
Nah, you start raising your voice to me like I'm some sucker.
Now, joining us to talk about that interaction is R.A. the Rugged Man himself, legendary hip hop artist, and someone who's taken the time to talk about this interaction today. So,
yeah, how you doing, everybody?
Good to see you again,
Anna. I never met Anna in the flesh. I just met Shank. We did the show a few years back.
Yeah.
There's a clip of Shank in my Bang Boogie video from a few years back. I don't know if you remember that.
That's awesome. Yeah, you remember it. So Anna's got a question for you.
Yeah, so let me just get this part out of the way because you did apologize for your outburst later on Twitter. So I wanted to do my due diligence and share that with the audience. You wrote, respect Tim Cast. I was out of line last night. I have a lot of life stuff going on right now and brought that energy to the show. I have to work on that. I was wrong. I got emotional and reacted like an idiot. So I'm gonna just be honest with the audience.
Said I shouldn't have, right? I shouldn't have apologized.
Right, no, I'm not gonna say you shouldn't have apologized. I mean, you felt the need to do it. It's on you if you want to do that.
I got a mother, I got a baby mom and kids, and now you went crazy. So I was just trying to be hey, I gotta control. And plus, I'm a little older, and but he was talking a little funny. I rewatched the interview, like after you did it, I was like, damn, you should have kept it. But then I watched it, and he was like, mother effer, like he was talking out the side of his face, and I didn't realize, like, I saw what made me, snap a little bit. So
I mean, he called you racist, and he made himself out to be some sort of victim throughout the entirety of the interview, which I thought was fascinating. As someone who minimizes racism in this country, he really put himself in the position of someone who's disenfranchised and deals with racism all the time.
Well, the problem is he's a white kid. He's a white kid. Everyone looks at him. He's white. He goes to the white community. He's white. He goes to the black community. He's white. He's a white guy. Every white guy is mixed with something. He has a Asian grandparent, I got a Sicilian grandmother. This one got, a Turkish uncle, whatever. Everybody's mixed in America, but you're a white boy. You gotta just, and then they go, R.A. doesn't want to be black, or all his fans, R.A. doesn't want to be white. No, I'm white, I admit it. He doesn't admit it. He's a white boy. So, they got angry at me for that. Then you're a racist because you don't believe that I'm not white, and then they, all these people, like these white nationalists are coming coming on my site like, you hate white people and you're racist against white people. Yeah, like when did this become a thing? This racism against white people from white people. When did this?
Yeah, all right, that's what I was going to ask you about. So I went back and watched from the beginning too, and one of the things I was looking for was because we'd all seen the clips, right? But did you provoke him or did he provoke you? And there was no question. People can go back and watch it, okay?
Not on his channel because he deleted it.
He deleted it because he was embarrassed. Because after you stood up, then he punked out, right? Even though he was apparently grew up with gangbangers, which we'll get into in a second. Okay, but no, it was clear. He definitely started yelling at you first.
Yeah.
And he definitely called you names first, and he definitely called you racist first, okay? Yeah. All those things. So I know why, I get why you lost your cool. Nobody should lose their cool, we get it, okay?
That's what I was apologizing about.
Yeah, no, and that makes you a bigger man, and that God bless.
Over the top with that, especially.
Yeah, don't worry about that. So
the
now,
young me would have went crazier though. This is the grown me trying to be, hey, don't scare everybody. Just try to be a little normal, you know. So and sometimes like the unnormal comes out. So I was sorry about being unnormal.
No, that's cool. You know? Okay, listen. What I wanted to ask you, RA, is I didn't understand what he meant by you're racist against them. I genuinely don't understand. So I got 3 potential options as to why so let's all try to figure out this together, okay? Could be an anti-white racist. That's a thing that white supremacists say, that if you say, hey, anything against white people, that doesn't have to do with being white, but it's just a critique. Oh, that's it. No, you criticize the white person, you're an anti-white racist,
yeah,
right?
Well, they're leaving notes on the video about my daughter. They're like, you're an anti-white racist. You're gonna make your daughter hate herself. And it's like, you guys are so ignorant and stupid, you know? Like, yeah, my daughter gonna hate herself and hate being white. Yeah, like at any minute, I'm like, hate being white, children, you know? Like,
it's so dumb. I can't think how dumb it is.
Yeah.
All right, but then he claims that people are racist, I think, because he's a quarter Asian. But no one can tell that he's a quarter Asian.
Literally no one
knows that.
No one knows.
Okay. He used to roll with Luke Radowski from We Are Change, who I was friends with. I still friends with. When he used to do the wild stuff and go run up on politicians, Don Rumsfeld, or hey, you're a war criminal. Oh, cool, that's a cool guy, you know, anti-war guy. So then Tim Pool was his friend, and I seen Tim a couple times with him years ago. And I just thought it was 2 white guys, cool, you know, and everybody thinks they're white guys because they are. So what's the problem with that? You guys are white guys. Stand up for yourself and say.
But like, is he claiming, this is what I can't, is he claiming that people know he's Asian and are discriminating against him because he's Asian? Like, no, come on, man. Even if you're a Tim Pool fan, you know that that's not what anybody thinks. And the third thing is, he kept saying later in the interview how he grew up with gangbangers and there was murderers in his bedroom and they were having sex in his bedroom. They were violating people in the basement.
Oh, yeah, they were having sex in the bedroom and people were getting V'd. They're getting V'd in the closet?
No, in the basement, I think.
Oh, in the basement. Got it.
So is he trying to say then that since he was with gangbangers, he's actually a minority and that people are being racist against him because of that? Does anybody in his audience know? Does he know what the racism he's referring to is?
If you want to talk about real gangbangers, in my house, we had real gangbangers and we had real criminal gang members, and the feds raided our house. Like, we had literally like 20 feds running our house with machine guns and dogs and handcuffed people. Like, I lived with gangbangers, that was real. You know, so and
did you believe
it's documented. No, that's why I said, show me a picture of you hanging out with these people. Something, and his fans got mad at, how dare you say he needs a picture? You know, like, I'm saying, just show some, you know, yeah, I hung out with gangbangers. So I said, no, who did you grow up with? Just, you know, I'm just asking. Like, he says with journalists, like, tell us more, you know, so let me know what's going on. But apparently that made me racist because I questioned his past or whatever, you know, because I think he's just a regular white kid. So it hurt his feelings, I guess, you know.
But the whole interaction was fascinating because you called him out on something that I think was incredibly important to bring up, which is the fact that he speaks out of both sides of his mouth. So on one hand, he wanted to posture as this real warrior for the disenfranchised, while simultaneously, he's putting out videos justifying the murder of Ahmaud Arbery, justifying what Derek Chauvin did to George Floyd. You specifically brought up those examples. And so-
And who's the guy that started the riots? The guy that they shot 5 times, the cops shot 5 times, that started the riots with Rittenhouse and everything. Jacob Blake. is him saying, well, he reached for, it's always the defense of whoever shot the black man, but he's saying the white policewoman, he's against her now, so
and that he's in favor of abolishing the police. So what do you make of that argument that he wants to abolish the police?
I just laughed at it. I didn't really have much to say, but come on, man,
Yeah, I mean, look, from what I see, he says when the police are arresting right-wingers, for example, rioting on January 6th and threatening to execute people, they were chanting "Hang Mike Pence." He says, poor white guys. No, we got to abolish the police. And then he says we got to replace them with militias, armed militias.
Right.
Gee, I wonder what armed militias are gonna do, okay? And gee, I wonder who you want in the armed militia, right? And he goes back, I went back when I was pretending to be a left-winger 10 years ago, I did a documentary in Ferguson, and when that racket didn't work out, I now became a racist right-winger, doing nothing but racist videos about how it was great that black people got shot, and they deserved it every single time. But remember when my grift was trying to be a left-winger 10 years ago, and you seem to have found that unpersuasive.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's kind of also, I don't want to be the guy that just comes, I'd like to say it to his face too. I'm not just going on the Turks to say, hey, Tim Pool, you jerk.
You said it to his face. Yeah. You said it to his face.
I think there should be more discussions between people. I think we should all come together and talk. But because I look at old episodes like Dick Cavett, and they'd have racist segregationists here. They'd have Jim Brown here. So you'd be able to go, Jim Brown's right, or this and that. I think everybody. I think right now we're in this like Tim Pool. People only watch Tim Pool and
That's
only
right.
want that decision. And Rachel Maddow only want Rachel Maddow's opinion. And Tucker people only want Tucker's opinion. And they get lost in this box. Well, I think everybody let's all go discuss things. And I seen you try it once with Ben Shapiro. You had okay, I'll talk with this guy even though I disagree with everything. And I think that's kind of decent,
So all right, here's my point on that. Okay, so we do that more than anybody else. We have conservatives on the conversation. I debated Ben Shapiro, Tucker Carlson, and Coulter, so is Anna, et cetera, right? And I had David Duke on the show, and the mainstream media yelled at us. You can't platform. I called him an anti-Semite, a racist, et cetera, and mainstream media lied about it to try to smear me. So I believe in those conversations, and I was going to ask you why you went on Tim's show, and that explains it, right?
Yeah,
but the problem with having guys like Tim Pool on is I would rather have David Duke on, and I'll tell you why. Because David Duke at least is honest.
Blatant.
Yeah, he says, yeah, look, I think black people are inferior. I think Jews run the world. And he's honest about his racism. Whereas Tim Pool says, oh no, I once did something decent 10 years ago. I grew up with gangbangers who were killing people and then coming to my house. What a total, by the way, Tim, just to be clear, I don't believe you at all. I think you're a total hilarious liar. As I was watching it, I was like, you got mad at RA for laughing. I was laughing my ass off the whole time. Oh yeah, guys are getting violated in the basement. I think you should have reported that, okay? So none of that happened. And none of his stories match up. My dad's a fireman and he would have cleaned that stuff up. Oh, I don't know, we just let him in. By the way, you ask great questions, right? You're like, oh, who let him in the house? Who let the gangbangers in the house?
No, because he made it seem like a horror movie. Like, did you ever see Desperate Hours with Humphrey Bogart? They take over the house and kidnap the kids. And we don't want them in here. It seemed like some crazy, the gang members ran in there and they were held hostage and were having sex everywhere. He made it look like a horror movie. I was like, dude, that didn't happen like that.
Yeah.
Who let them in the house? They were, or if did it even happen? He's like, well, I think my brother, I think my sister, he didn't, So it is what it is.
Whereas, look, David Duke is honest and a terrible racist person, and Tim Pool is a terrible racist person who's totally dishonest. Who goes, oh yeah, I love black people. I mean, they're wrong every time. He should be shot every time. Well, except one time, because now RA called me out. So all of a sudden, I found one white cop. I found one white cop. Half his show is CYA operation, cover your ass, right? Yeah. Oh, I covered my ass that way. I covered my ass that way. No, Tim, you make money off of being a racist. Just own up to it. Then we'd have you on and we'd discuss it with you.
It's a new way for people to get rich as well, because Trump is gone. They don't have the voice of Trump. These are Trump 2024 type guys, and their followers are like, oh, we got to take a break. We got to take a break.
Let's keep going.
But their followers, if you see all the comments, it's like Kyle 2024. It's like Trump 2024. It's like white lives matter, and it's like, so now they have these new type of leaders on YouTube, and it's funny. It's like, because we none of us thought Trump would win, but we didn't know how many of these mutants were in the hidden,
Right.
And where I took my kids to the horror convention recently, and it was like Tom Berenger and all these legendary actors, and and there was a line around the block for one person like this. And I'm like, who the hell? That got to be somebody big, right? Scott Baio.
Oh, God,
So they're all hidden in the cut.
That is the most shocking thing I've
But it was
ever
real.
heard in
I was
my
like,
life.
wait, that's how Trump got elected. It's like these.
So
it's
Charles
like this
is
big-
still in charge, huh?
Yeah,
And MAGA loves Chachi.
Like, yeah, but if you look online, you figure Scott Baio shamed everybody. No, it's like we love him because of that, you know. So it's a different demographic that's like comes out the woodwork, and I see it. I debated a racist years ago on Gavin McInnes' show. He's like a white nationalist guy, and after that interview, the same amount of people came out like, oh, and calling me every word, N-word, wigger, all the, you know, like, you know, you should die. Like, in this Tim Pool interview, there's like death threats out the box, like crazy death threats. And you go to the page and it's all these like white supremacist weirdos sending me death threats in my inbox. And, you know, it's like, you know, so, and it's the same demographic I got when I did the racist with Gavin McInnes, you know,
So the thing that really struck me throughout that whole conversation was how much Tim Pool wanted to place himself in the position of being a victim.
That was
right?
crazy. That was insanity,
He's
though.
the victim, and then later he deleted the video, so it's not available on his channel.
He claims it's because I used the word cracker.
Right.
He said his page was going to get taken down because I said cracker.
Right. So there are some.
But I'm saying it here. Are they going to take you down? I don't know.
It
I don't
depends
think
on
so.
the context that you mentioned. In some platforms, social media platforms,
Aubrey's murderers crackers. That's what I said in his show. So
they're murderers. Are they really offended? Is Tim Pool offended? Oh, those racist murderers! You called them the wrong name. Yeah. Poor them. Yeah, like, poor them. Are you serious?
Even if you go to Twitter right now, like I have a quote from Martin Luther King's daughter, because all these white people, they love to use Martin Luther King wants you not to look at racism. You know, they take that one quote, you know, and they falsely take the quote. But so it was her defending CRT, you know, critical race theory, and saying, stop fear mongering this. If you want to read some of my father's work, you know what I mean? My father, you know, so now all these white supremacist type people are you know, going at, you know, Martin Luther King's daughter, saying you don't know nothing, you're ignorant, and you don't know what Martin Luther King thinks, and it's like, yo, it's his daughter. Let her have her perspective of what she, you know, learned from her father or believes her father would have thought. But no, they can't even let Martin Luther King's daughter have that. You know, it's like,
yeah. And my last thing is, look, he talked about how he gets pulled into screenings when he goes to the airport. I thought it was a totally Karen story, right? Like,
of course.
You know, I get pulled over every time, but. You kept asking him, RA, and I don't know that he ever answered it. But why?
No, he didn't answer. He purposely didn't answer.
Like,
I said, why are they pulling you over? He's like, I don't know. So why are you acting like you're racially profiled? That's the most ignorant thing. You're not racially profiled ever in your life. No cops are pulling you over. Nobody saying, oh, look at the Muslim. No, you were never racially profiled. And if you act like you are, that's a lie.
Yeah.
You know, he's a white kid. Period. You know, if you want to say you're mixed from your grandparents or something, this and that, okay, you got a little Asian in you. All right, we got you. But like, don't act like people look at you and, you know, if you walk into the hood, nobody's like, oh, look at that Korean man. You know, it's not happening.
You know? Yes, Tim, I'm definitely laughing at you. Look, last thing is, I am
trying to do that though. You know,
I am.
Here, you know what's crazy though? It's like I get soft in my old age because when I went there, they had somebody like drew a picture of me in pencil, and they would like treat me like really beautifully and nice and give me.
They're nice racists. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, but it's all a part of their facade. Okay, but look, last thing is I was saying is that look, they make it seem like. Hey, we're saying no white person can be poor. Are you nuts? Of course white people are poor, right? Of course white people are middle class. And and they make it seem like we're saying that no white person ever has gone through anything bad. That's insane. Of course white people go through bad stuff, including getting screened at the airport sometimes and sometimes too much.
Don't use it to take away from some other struggle.
Right,
if you want to go
it's done to minimize the very real problem we have in this country with racial profiling, with police brutality. And yes, police brutality mostly impacts disproportionately African Americans in this country, and socioeconomic status has something to do with that as well. But like, again, to me, what was most striking about all of it is that the very people who have minimized racism in this country are now putting themselves in the position of being the ones who are aggrieved, being the ones who are victims, being the ones who are oppressed. And I just think it's rich for Tim Pool, of all people, who sits in his little studio making millions of dollars off of this garbage, putting himself in the position of someone who is disenfranchised. He's not disenfranchised. I'm not buying it. And I thank you for calling him out to his face for the lies that he tells on his show and the BS that he engages in. I loved it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
me too.
I had fun too. But
yeah.
they even like the comments. It's like, yeah, it's next level.
You got to ignore it.
Yeah, and a lot of them are trolls and bots.
No, it is. It's like one follower, white supremacy. One follower. It's like crazy, but yeah.
And so, look, you call for the people that didn't watch the whole thing. Yeah, he called them out and he did the thing about pushing the mic away. But if you actually watch when Ari was calm and he was way better at calling him out.
Yes.
He kept asking him details, and Tim had no answers to any of the questions that you were asking him because it was obvious that he was making it up. But hey, Tim, if you didn't make it up, I'll just leave everybody with this question. Who was violated in Tim Pool's basement?
Yeah, who was?
No, but that's what he said.
Yeah.
That's what he
They
said.
were V'd.
They were V'd, and then he explained that meant that that was gangbanger talk for violated. Which child, because he said they were kids, which child was violated in Tim Pool's basement, and what did Tim do about it? It's not my story. I don't even believe the story. It's Tim's story.
Right.
He said it.
Back to your story about like white people being poor. Obviously, there's white poor people, white people with problems. It's like, so they made up this fake, RA's dad paid all the rent. Dad's rich, and I've been on your show. I told you, my father's was a broke Vietnam veteran with 2 handicapped kids. Agent Orange, murdered my sister, murdered my brother, murdered my nephew. We didn't come from money. We were sitting there broke. With my brother can't walk, talk, or see. My sister can't walk or talk. My nephew, body just stopped working. 6 months old, 25 years old. My sister died. 10 years old. My brother died. We were a white family with a lot of problems. So all these people go, oh, we're the white family with the problem. No, we were that white family with problems. But I'm not gonna ever go, don't have the privilege of, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not gonna use my struggle to act like, to take away from the struggle of black people, brown people in our country, which is real, but that's what they do. They cry about it. Oh, white people, you're saying white people can't have it. We know white people have a struggle. We do have struggles. We understand that. But when we were talking about critical race theory in the schools, and then you bring up, but my struggle with being an Asian from 70 years ago, and my struggle, what's his name, Luke, he was Polish, and it's like, yeah, but we're talking about critical race theory in school. What does it have to do with Poland? What does it have to do with a Korean grandparent from the 40s? What does it have to do with that stuff? That was the strangeness, yeah.
All right, thank you for taking the time to come and talk to us about what really went down. I appreciated the interview, and I appreciated you showing up and talking to us about it.
Can I bring up one touchy subject?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Go ahead, real quick.
You guys all got to make up. You and Dor.
No, hell no.
Hell no.
F
No.
Dor, he could F the hell out.
I like
I wish I
all
could
of
curse
yous.
on this
I
show.
like all of yous.
Yeah, he sexually harassed me at work for years, for literally years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's garbage. He's a trash
So
person.
I told you it was
Not
tough. I didn't
interested.
mean, you know what it is?
Well, you
Yeah.
brought it up, so I'm going to speak my piece.
I'll just say one last thing because you asked.
But
you asked.
It got childish because I seen it on both ends.
Is it childish?
No, it's not both ends, all right.
With
It's not both ends.
Dor and his people were putting up videos of you. When you said, hey, I'd like these shoes, and you tricked the guy to getting your shoes. Oh, look how terrible, and it wasn't terrible. It was a funny skit that was on the internet type of thing, and it gets down where everybody takes these little things and start fighting over them.
But all right, it's not the same thing. Listen, now you asked, I got to answer it.
Yeah,
Okay,
of course,
Jimmy says that us and people like Amy Goodman, he insinuates are CIA or that we're taking money from Nancy Pelosi. That's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. A lunatic says things like that.
Okay, I didn't know
and by the way, Jimmy doesn't believe a word of that. He took, well, then why'd you take our checks, huh, Jimmy? Hey, bitch, why did you take our checks?
I opened it up, I'm
sorry.
sorry, guys.
No, because I need to clarify for the bitch. If you thought we were taking money from Nancy Pelosi and the CIA, why did you take our money?
You guys not mad at me?
Why did you take our money, Jimmy, huh? You goddamn liar, and you know it.
This is supposed to be the peaceful one. I was trying to do the Dick Cavett thing.
No,
Yeah, everybody.
I know.
We gotta go. We have so much
I'm
to
going to
get
say
to.
one last thing, okay? Because why does he sell out for money? Because those same white supremacists go and they give him money through YouTube and all the other things, right? Patreon and stuff. And he sees that, and because he's a greedy little prick who likes to lie nonstop, he goes, "Ooh, I'll be a right winger." Vaccines. Oh, no, I'm skeptical about vaccines. Oh no. Oh, hey, I think everybody else is taking. Now he says the Green Party might be with the CIA.
No, the Green Party is the establishment.
Oh, it's the establishment. No, don't give money to anybody else but Jimmy.
2016, it was like the Jill Stein type of era, and that's when I seen him up here, and that's
yeah.
So I didn't mean to open no can of worms.
No,
to
but
make
it's
you
the
guys.
same thing, though. I know, but it's the same thing. Both.
I was trying to make the peace. Anytime I try to make peace, I get in more trouble.
No peace at all, at all. I don't make peace with goddamn liars, okay? And so I kick their ass for a living. And what is Jimmy now? You're the goddamn joke of the internet, Jimmy Dore. Everybody thinks you're a total and utter fool. You know why? Because he is. Oh, I think Amy Goodman might be CIA. Give me the money instead. That's goddamn Jimmy Dore for you. By the way, I'll tell you the connective tissue between Tim Pool and Jimmy Dore. They were both grifters who were pretending to be left wing and taking money for that. But they didn't find sufficient enough money in the left wing, so they went to the right. Dave Rubin, same exact thing, same exact thing. But they said, "Oh, right wing, you give me more money. Oh, I'll pleasure you. I'll do anything you want." That's who Jimmy Dore is. That's who Tim Pool is. That's who Dave Rubin is.
I'm not that guy.
No,
it's a joke. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I was trying to make a joke out. I was trying to make a joke out of it. Sorry.
We got to go to break, so let's do that. We'll see you guys in just a few minutes.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.